and we're creationists.
Today we're going to speak about the Kono people and how they created this place called Earth.
Today we have an exclusive interview with Saw, his daughter, and Alatongana.
Saw is known as the god of death, and he created a vast sea of mud for himself, his wife, and his daughter to live on.
Alatongana visited Saw in his home, and Alatongana was not pleased. So he brought light, plants, and animals. At first, Saw was grateful, and then he invited him as a guest.
Aside from Alatongana's big contribution to the Earth, he wanted to marry Saw's daughter, but Saw refused. They later eloped and moved to a different part of the Earth. They had conceived 14 children, 7 female and 7 male, but they were all different races and spoke different languages.
Before we get to the interviews, we have Nicole with some background information. Nicole?
Thank you, madam. Hello and welcome to the background information segment. My name is Nicole Rivera. We're here to talk about the Kono people and its origin. The civilization has dated back as 2200 BC. There's little information about the Kono culture, but we can get an idea from the country it's from. The Kono culture is located in a country in Western Africa called Sierra Leone. It's known for being the world's largest harbor, and it's located right next to the Atlantic Ocean. How amazing is that? Anyways, some contributions that the Kono people might have is weaving cloth, and they were made for rituals and ceremonies. There were so many people, about 18 different types of ethnic groups, and in Sierra Leone, all inhabiting the similar cultural features. They contribute and they receive contributions from other communities in their country. So it's a win-win. As of now, we don't know what happened to them, but we do know that they're located in Sierra Leone. Well, that's it for this segment. Back to you, Kiva.
Thank you so much, Nicole, for the insight. It was pretty interesting, though, right, Maddie?
Yeah, I can't believe that people used to live like that, and it's really amazing to see how far people have gone.
It honestly really is. Well, now we're going to talk about the characters in our creation story. Stick around.
Saw, the god of death. He has a wife and a child, and he created a dark world. He lives on a vast sea of mud and doesn't like Alatongana. This is his daughter. She's a beautiful woman, and she eloped with Alatongana. She has 14 children with different races that speak different languages.
This is Alatongana. He is a god. He helped put animals and plants on Saw's earth and was invited to be his guest. He eloped with Saw's daughter and moved to a different part of Earth. Saw wasn't a big fan of him.
Now that you have some information about our character description, we will now go to Miriam for our interviews. Miriam?
Thank you, Maddie. I'm here with Saw, and I have some information on him.
Hello, I'm Saw, god of death.
Interesting. What about your friends and family?
I have a wife and a daughter. I used to have a best friend, Alatonga, but he betrayed me by marrying my daughter in secret.
Have you talked to him since?
Yes, he came to me asking advice for how to communicate with his 14 children, 7 white and 7 black.
What did you tell Alatongana?
I said to him to separate his children based on color.
What did he do in return?
Whenever I ask, he will give me one of his children.
There you have it. Back to you, Maddie.
Thank you, Miriam. Isn't that crazy how Saw wants to take one of Alatongana's children?
I definitely agree with you, Maddie. I think it is pretty strange, but is that his form of revenge for Alatongana taking his daughter?
I think so, but honestly, 2 wrongs don't make it right. But now we have Saw's daughter and Alatongana with their side of the story. Miriam?
Hello, and welcome back. I am here with the daughter of Saw.
In Alatongana.
We are here to talk about what they feel about the situation. So what can you tell me about your forbidden relationship?
Our relationship isn't forbidden.
Yes, it was my father who wouldn't allow him to marry me, but we eloped.
Did you go see your father-in-law for advice?
I had to. Our children spoke different languages. We were living in darkness. I had no knowledge of creating light.
Do you two agree with what he had to say?
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Back to you, Hiva.
Thank you, Miriam, for the interviews, and thank you, Alatongana and Saw's daughter, for participating.
You know, I think it's really interesting how we now have both perspectives of the story, and now we can see how the Earth was really created.
Exactly. Well, now to go more into depth about the story, we're going to talk about the worldview domains, the morality, the destiny, the origin, and the meaning.
One interesting fact is that the rooster came from this story, and Saw created the tutu and the rooster to bring light into the world. So now whenever the rooster crows, that means that it's morning.
That's kind of funny because you see that in a lot of movies and how like when a rooster crows, like it kind of like depicts that it's morning time. So that's actually pretty cool.
Really interesting.
Now to go to Destiny, it says in the story that the reason that death exists is because of the forbidden marriage of Alatongana and his daughter, which is pretty shocking to me. Is because why does death have to exist and every other person has to go through it just because somebody fell in love and they can't be together?
It's really interesting that you said that, and I wanted to point out that there's a lot of things in this story that can relate back to where we live now. And how we live.
It's definitely connected to the morality part of this story because Saw wanted to segregate the black children from the white children, and that really does relate to the modern world now because we are so segregated as a race that we all have different stereotypes for each other. And in the story, it said that white children were given the ability to write, be scholars, and have intelligence, while the black children were having the ability to be working and doing things with their hands, which kind of does really relate back to slavery and how blacks were used to do works while the whites were used to be better in the world and be rich and have money, have fame.
Really crazy and interesting how a story so old can relate to how we live in society today.
Yeah, that's a really big connection from the past to the present.
Well, that's all we have for you today. I'm Maddie Benjamin.
And I'm Hima Karami.
And this is Creation News. Is that better? Watch this, watch this, watch this.
Are you coming upstairs?
Elevator.
Fat. You see that?
I found it!
Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh, what just happened? Water just...
So, first of all, we just dropped the iPad and it broke.
Sad story.
It cracked. So, thank you,
Love
English
and life.
Project. Thank you.